Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you on this Monday morning again. I want to speak to you about surrender today. So let's read from Philippians 3, verse 8. It says, Yes, furthermore, I count everything as loss compared to the possession of the priceless privilege, the overwhelming preciousness, the surpassing worth, and the supreme advantage of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord, and of progressively becoming more deeply and intimately acquainted with Him, of perceiving and recognizing and understanding Him more fully and clearly. For His sake, I have lost everything and consider it all to be mere rubbish, refuse or dregs, in order that I may win and gain Christ, the Anointed One. Now, if I remember correctly, Paul is speaking about being a Pharisee of Pharisees, that he is, he is the one that knows the laws, he knows everything. There's so much that can count for him in the sense of religion, and he's saying that all of that, he counts it as mere rubbish to know Jesus Christ. Now, all of us have something that counts for us. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you're a very mild person, so aggression is not a problem for you. Or maybe you are a very intellectual person, so you can easily understand when you read scriptures, for example. But whatever it is that counts on our side, our upbringing, or the exposure we've had in church, all of that we also need to surrender so that we can know Christ. Now, obviously, when God gives you a talent or when He gives you something good, it doesn't mean that you never have to use it or all of that. But we do not stand on that as to receive brownie points to have favor with God. When we come to God, we come with the attitude of heart that from ourselves there is nothing good, because that is the truth. In ourselves there's nothing good. Even the good that you have received in your life, whether it was before you knew Christ or after, all of that is by the grace of God. So even if I look back in my life and I can see the amazing things that God has done in my life or protected me in certain situations, even though I did not realize it at that time, it was the grace of God. So Paul is saying that whether it is something good that counts in your sight, lay that all down for the sake of really knowing Him. Do not come with preconceived ideas, especially when you read the Word, or when you are in prayer with Christ, that fellowship that you have. Don't come with preconceived ideas. Open your heart and ask God to show Himself to you. Now, that is on the one side, but in this past week, another thing that God has showed to me is that we need to surrender also our weaknesses. And, even though that might sound very logical, oh yes, God, please take away my weaknesses, sometimes we struggle to surrender those weaknesses because it is such a comfortable thing that we know. Now, let's say you are struggling with in traffic to with anger, or with me, I get so frustrated with my kids sometimes and I shout at them. It is something that that is how you do life. So sometimes it is so difficult to surrender our weaknesses because we are so comfortable with it. So when I was in prayer this week and I was speaking about surrender, and I was checking my heart with God to say, Lord, am I really, the attitude of my heart really willing to let all things go for you? God just said to me, are you willing to surrender your weaknesses? So I want to tell you today, whatever idol it is that you set up in your heart, whether that is something that counts for you in the eyes of people, or whether it is something that is against you in the eyes of people, whatever it is that you hold on to, that is a comfort for you in your life, because that's just how you do life. I want to encourage you today to surrender that to Jesus. Go to Him and sit with Him and say, Lord, I want to give this to you so that I can progressively know you, so that I can become intimately acquainted with you, so that I can have a deeper knowledge of you, so that I can have the supreme advantage of knowing you. There's so much more advantages in surrendering all our stuff to Jesus and receiving his life in us. Bless you.